So far, it's been one hell of a story, and at last, all the plot holes of the story have finally been filled in. Surely now we'll get to see what happens next in Kingdom Hearts 3, right? Right? Oh god, what now? Well, from what I can see here, there's at least some good news. Okay, we're doing Birth by Sleep. We're doing Birth by Sleep. Cue the intro. Hey guys, I'm Keyboard15, and welcome to my review on Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Now within the Kingdom Hearts fandom, Birth by Sleep has often been argued to be amongst the best in the franchise, some even going as far as stating that it's superior to Kingdom Hearts 2. I however would beg to differ. Now don't get me wrong, I love this game, but I can't deny this the moment that Kingdom Hearts started to go a bit wrong due to a shift in gameplay mechanics, plot, and overall substance of the franchise losing its charm. The game was originally released on the PlayStation Portable in 2010, and the final mix version was later remastered in the 2.5 remix pack. Birth by Sleep is what I consider to be the moment Kingdom Hearts started to go wrong, and it's honestly the last good Kingdom Hearts game that I've enjoyed for a good while now. I say this because Dream Drop Distance was very underwhelming for me, and frankly quite short, at least for a Kingdom Hearts game. For this review, I'll be playing the PlayStation 4 version, as it's vastly superior with 60 frames per second gameplay, improved graphics, and faster load times. However, it's taken 7 years for it to even begin to look like Kingdom Hearts is getting back on track. I just personally believe that anything as Square has tried to develop that goes beyond the plot of Kingdom Hearts 2 has just been utter rubbish and doesn't fit in with Kingdom Hearts at all. It's almost as if Square had begun to lose sight of what made Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 so successful. As the series has progressed, we've steadily influenced less and less within the worlds, which not only makes the majority of the gameplay and story increasingly tedious, but does absolutely nothing to grow the characters as a whole. It's just so painfully apparent in this game, and I can only hope that future titles don't make the same mistake. In terms of chronology, the game acts as a prequel, taking place approximately 10 years before the events of Kingdom Hearts 1, and tells the story of not one but 3 Keyblade wielders, in the form of Terra, Aqua, and Ventus, who suspiciously looks a lot like Roxas.
Coincidence? I think.
Okay, that is the last time I make that joke, I swear. The story begins with the 3 friends on the eve of Aqua and Terra's Mark of Mastery exam, which should they be judged worthy, Masters Ericus and Xehanort will declare them true Keyblade Masters. Xehanort. Now where have I heard that name before?
Xehanort. Those thoughts are best forgotten.
Xehanort!
How long has it been since I abandoned that name?
Main bad guy incoming! As the exam proceeds, Xehanort meddles in the exam using the power of darkness, and thus only Aqua passes, whilst Terra does not, due to his inability to contain his dark powers. This event creates a rift between the 3 friends. Shortly after, Xehanort disappears with a masked boy, followed immediately by an invasion of monsters known as the Unversed. It's basically just the Heartless. They proceed to target the 7 princesses of Heart, people whose hearts contain no traces of darkness, and thus ravage several worlds. I hate it when that happens. As it is happening, Ventus is informed by the masked boy that Terra will no longer be who he is soon, and thus rushes off to warn his friend. Aqua is then given orders by Ericus to monitor Terra's darkness and to bring Ventus home. Thus, our journey begins. Throughout the game, we explore the rise and fall of these 3 heroes and how their actions and sacrifices have impacted events throughout the series as a whole, and foreshadows what is yet to come. Now the first major problem I have with this game is its terrible and limited choice of Disney worlds. On the one hand, we get to explore and interact with several new worlds, or new areas of worlds we visited in previous games. But on the other hand, the choice of the worlds is frankly... how do I put this delicately? It's fucking awful. Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, Snow White? And you know what they all have in common? They're Disney princess films! How boring is that? Well, at least the other half introduces Lilo and Stitch, my favourite Disney series I might add. Oh wait, you can't go to the Hawaiian beaches. Fuck this world. This is arguably one of the game's biggest shortfalls. They damn near skip other great worlds such as Olympus Coliseum, Destiny Islands, and Mysterious Tower. Now understandably, much like 358 over 2 days, there's only so much you can really put into a portable console. But why prioritise such crap worlds instead of something much more significant and frankly more fun? The scale of the levels also feels very restrictive. even smaller than areas in 358 I might add, which were designed to function on a console with much smaller memory space and processing power. Yet despite very clear technical problems with the DS, the scale of the levels wasn't a problem. So why is it a problem here? That being said, the story is delivered much better in this game, largely due to the PlayStation Portable being able to support fully voiced cutscenes, but also due to the different characters' perspectives. This means that in order to fully comprehend the story, it requires the player to complete all 3 story arcs. This gives the game a lot of replay value, as depending on which character you play as will determine who to interact with. In addition, some characters are able to access certain areas of levels but others cannot. But unfortunately, the level design is still largely the same and thus lacks in certain levels. Completing all 3 stories unlocks the final chapter, and depending on what difficulty you're on, not that critical is particularly hard anyway, you get a bonus chapter, which ties into the new 2.8 pack. Furthermore, beyond their stories, the 3 characters also have their own unique combat abilities. Ventus is very much like Sora, using rapid attacks to destroy his enemies, whereas Terra is much slower, and prefers solid and precise blows instead to destroy his enemies, including the use of dark powers, which are introduced about halfway through the game. And finally there's Aqua. Personally my favourite character out of the trio due to her great controls and story. She is very adaptable, as she can maintain a balance between swordplay and magic quite well, whilst also being excellent at evasion. Oh come on, there's a reason she has a whole game dedicated to herself. Overall, I feel that Ventus has the weakest character development due to its limited significance to the plot for the majority of the game, which leads to a lot of pointless subplots. Terra's story in comparison is much better, however it's just a shame he controls so horrendously. He simply can't adapt to most situations, particularly bosses, so you'll probably die in most as him. Not only that, but he can't tell that these guys such as him, her, him, are all bad guys. It's always bothered me how his character is just so naive, yet everyone else has the brain cells who immediately spot a villain when they see one. Speaking of horrendous controls, this brings me onto the command system. In Birth by Sleep, it seems Square intended to create a hybrid system with Kingdom Hearts 2's ability system and 358 over 2 Days panel system, and thus we get the command deck. Essentially, the player gets to choose what powers to take into battle. This comes in 3 flavours: Keyblade powers, which allows you to pull off a variety of impressive melee abilities, magical powers, which gives you a variety of spells to use, and finally, items. Whilst these come in a limited supply, they can be used to assist the player in a variety of ways. Personally, I've always found items to be a bit of a waste, as you naturally recover a lot of the necessities required to survive anyway, as your magical powers render much of these items obsolete and utterly useless. Unlike 358 over 2 days in comparison, where you can only carry a certain number of spells with you, the player has an unlimited supply of spells that they can cast.
You get to choose, Mr. Sparrow.
There is of course a catch, however. Instead of simply spamming the apocalypse on your enemies whenever you like, your powers have a cooldown and therefore need to be used wisely. As powers are used, they will gradually become more powerful, giving access to some really cool abilities. One new feature that really stands out, however, for me is the introduction of shot locks. These special moves require some time to lock on and charge, but when they're ready, you can unleash a spectacular attack which demolishes absolutely everything.
Gotcha!
Our creatures can't repel firepower of that magnitude.
Now while on paper this may seem rather overpowered, it does take a while to recharge and the time to lock on can vary depending on which shot lock you use. This means that in certain circumstances, you simply won't have enough time to use them before the enemy kills you, so I'd say it's balanced. Another cool feature with this game is the introduction of command styles. Depending on the combination of powers you use will determine which command style you get, and these come in a variety of forms. Each command style is distinctly different from the next, and dramatically alters your standard attack pattern. Once fully charged, you are able to unleash a devastating finisher. Moreover, the game also incorporates a crafting system known as melding. Essentially, upon maxing out a command's level, these commands can then be combined with other compatible commands to force new and more powerful abilities. Love an use of alliteration there! Many of these abilities cannot be earned in battle, nor can they be found in treasure chests, and thus encourages the player to use the melding system consistently throughout the game. In addition, adding a synthesis item to your melding could also result in you gaining new passive abilities, such as combo boosters, experience boosters, health boosters, and a variety of others. Overall, everything has its uses and is well balanced. It seems Square has finally made magic fully useful. There are of course some exceptions, such as landmines. Oh my god, DCs can demolish absolutely anything. Be it unversed, bosses, anything you can think of, it will utterly destroy them. Speaking of the unversed, there are a few issues. Firstly, the unversed are ridiculously idiotic. Like, I could be standing right in front of several unversed, not moving, not attacking, just standing there, and they won't do anything.
Do it! Do it!
Come on, kill me! I'm here! Come on! Do it now! Kill me!
Another issue is that these guys are not very challenging or intimidating at all, particularly due to the fact that most of these enemies are just reskins of Heartless we faced in previous games, with the same abilities to boot. Now, this was a problem I had in Chain of Memories. The AI was simply far too easy to kill. Yet when it comes to a boss battle that doesn't involve the unversed, the bosses can be somewhat extremely powerful and even unbalanced. Now unfortunately, it's nowhere near as severe as a problem as it was in Chain of Memories, as the increased difficulty makes the bosses a genuine threat, and are actually quite challenging. The only real complaint I really have is that these bosses hit like tanks, essentially forcing the player to be constantly spamming the hell out of the dodge moves. But aside from that, they're very enjoyable. Now this is normally the part of the review where I complain about the final mix version of the game being exclusive to Japan, but honestly, for once it actually doesn't bother me here. Whilst it certainly adds a few new gameplay features, it's largely inconsequential. Apart from making the minigames in this game somewhat more purposeful, the biggest thing a final mix really added to the game was the Mirage Arena. It's just unfortunate that the 2.5 version of the game lacks the multiplayer functionality, considering that the PlayStation 3 and 4 can handle much more stable game sessions and reduce load times. Originally, you could play with up to 3 players in arena combat, command board, or racing. In the 2.5 version, however, whilst these features do remain, they've been modified to support single player only. Otherwise you just constantly die. The arena mode is essentially a horde mode followed by a boss. I found this great for testing new powers and grinding, and it's not very often I see this feature implemented this well in games. The best example I can really compare it to is the arena combat levels throughout the Ratchet & Clank series, particularly 3 with its try before you buy system. Next, we have Command Board. Arguably the most frustrating mess of a minigame I have ever experienced in my video gaming career. Yet if you can figure it out, it's great for farming new rare commands and upgrading your abilities. This game is essentially a crappy Monopoly knockoff, in which you compete for points by running a circuit off the board, whilst deploying mines to force your opponents to pay a points toll. This also upgrades your abilities. The first player to rack up enough points and make it back to base wins the game. And yet this concept took me several weeks to even begin to fathom what it was on about. Yet, this turns out to be the most useful minigame of them all. The rest of the minigames can be found in Disney Town, which is made up of a horrifically bad racing game, an unfathomable game of volleyball, and a damn quick time event ice cream cannon. I can't believe I just said that. What's worse is that all of these are equally as difficult, painful, and entirely useless. Great. The music in this game is once again performed by Yoko Shimura, but it still heavily relies on Kingdom Hearts 2's soundtrack. That being said, Birth by Sleep does incorporate some fantastic new tracks, most of which are orchestrated, yet some have a more techno feel to them, which works surprisingly well. That being said, these songs aren't particularly long and they loop constantly. Oh god, I hate this world. As much as I love Birth by Sleep, I can't deny that the real problem with this game is that there are moments where it's absolutely amazing and others where it just falls flat. This is largely reflected in the poor level design and clunky controls of certain characters, but overall it does tell a great story with some engaging combat scenarios. It's just a pity that this game's main purpose was to merely join up and explain some obligatory facts like how Sora Miku got a Keyblade, how Kairi got to Destiny Islands. Oh look, it's those guys from Chain of Memories, that's cool. Unlike 358 over 2 days, revealed a lot more meaningful content and resolved various plot holes, Birth by Sleep just goes about this the wrong way. Everything just feels tacked on and rushed. While it's cool knowing this stuff, sometimes it's just better to leave things to the imagination, perhaps pursue a new plot, because there are certainly moments where the story gets really emotional and meaningful. where it strives to continue the story beyond Kingdom Hearts 2, whilst establishing some fantastic new characters. That being said, I can't say I'm too big on this whole Elder Wand Keyblade being the main drive for Kingdom Hearts 3, but hopefully Square can deliver an epic final chapter to this story. So overall, I'd give Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep 7 out of 10. Don't get me wrong, a 7 is still really good, but like I said, Aqua is really the only character I found thoroughly enjoyable, whereas Ven and Terra bored me in a lot of places, thus makes only half this game really worthwhile in my opinion. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and share. I'm Keyblade15 and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Hey guys, I just wanted to give a special thanks to my friend Zombie Gorilla who helped me edit this review. If that has helped this video, might not have even been possible. All the best to you, mate. Thank you so much for all your help.